I've only got 2 words to describe Dragon Ball Daima episode 19. Absolute cinema! And if you still don't like Daima after having watched this episode, what is wrong? What else does this show have to do to impress you? It gave you everything that people have been clamoring for. Toriyama, before he departed this mortal coil, gave us 2 fanservice-y elements that people have been clamoring for. And I'm giving you some time to click off as to what exactly happened in this episode. So I'm going to give you, to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, spoilers incoming, 1, adult Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 and adult Goku Super Saiyan 4, albeit the Magic Edition. Now, these 2 elements are right here for all to see. However, what we got primarily was Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. And I believe that this was the battle that pretty much summed up in the prince's mind that, oh yeah, this form ain't worth it. I can't really do much with it, because technically, had it not been for the third eye constantly spamming the reset full health button, Vegeta would have won against Goma hands down. In fact, he was really holding his own in his base form, which was absolutely insane. And one thing that was absolutely insane were the visuals, especially in the second half. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, these visuals were rivaling the likes of Broly. Oh, like, Goku going Super Saiyan 3 to then 4. It's a continuation of what we got in the Buu saga, when Goku's going through the transformations, but now includes Super Saiyan 4. Oh, I don't care if this is throwing into question, is this something, Super Saiyan 4 Magic Edition, that Goku could just do now? Or is this something he can only do in the Demon Realm, and the influence of Neva's increase in his buff will be reset the next time he has a fusion bug or something like that? I hope it's explained in the next episode, to explain why he never got around to using it against Beerus and then never again. There's got to be some explanation woven in as to why we don't see it in Super. Unless we're getting some kind of a retcon, but the point is, though, is that Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is an absolute beast. The visuals were fantastic, the fight was brilliant, and there were many explanations, good ones at that the Prince is probably better than Goku in many ways in the fact that he is strategically sound. Okay, we will get to the wish itself. Sure enough, as myself and many other people predicted, Glorio made the wish, so that means he wished everyone would transform back into adults who were changed into a kid by Glorio, and not to make Arinsu the Supreme Demon Queen. Now, unfortunately, I was a little bit disappointed in the fact, I mean, it wasn't really a big deal, honestly, because it did have some benefits ultimately. Arinsu kind of realized what he did and almost appreciated the balls on him, even though he kind of betrayed her, saying, okay, fine, leave. And then, oh, actually, now that you mention it, we probably wouldn't get anywhere if he still had the third eye and he could take it out. And then Majin Ku got to do something amazing, and alluding to when he fought against the first Tamagami doing that mathematical equation, in that Ku, even though his power is good, but not as good as many of the other people around, he is frighteningly intelligent and adept, which even surpasses the likes of Arinsu in the field that she is meant to be a Grand Doctor Wizard in. That's absolutely crazy. It was taking her a fair while, and we all thought, oh, okay, this is the thing that she's going to be doing in the background. And then suddenly, boom, Ku manages to find out the solution in like a few seconds. And then it turns out to be ultimately simple of like, hey, you just gotta bash the clown on the back of the head 3 times. So in other words, we gotta hit him really hard, yes, Kakarot. Excellent, I can do that. But who's to say we might get some trippy visual where Piccolo and the like are trying to do it, and then the third eye turns around in Goma's head and peeks through the back of his own skull and goes, I see you. And then, oh yeah? Stop hitting yourself. Oh, that's going to be a thing. Oh, Mr. Schemmel is going to be so pleased that we're going to be getting a reprise of, so this is Super Saiyan 4. Yeah. I don't mean that in a mocking way. I'm pretty sure he is giddy with excitement that he is going to get to do that in a few months' time. If not, he's recorded it already, because this is something that we've not really heard Sean do in decades. So that's going to be a really exciting trip. when we do get to the dubbed version, of course, which will take a while. But the rest of the episode was primarily just going over multiple things to do with a basic fight. And even though many people are thinking that the third eye is absolutely ridiculous, the thing that makes it somewhat tolerable is that it's a magical element that not even experts in the demon realm really understand, because it was never really tested. And many people have pointed out that, can you imagine what would it have been like if Deborah had gotten the third eye and used it on the Dragon team? He probably would have been even stronger than Gomer is right now. That would be incredibly terrifying. Might he even be rivaling gods of destruction? I don't know. But it just makes you think that this third eye is almost as broken as what you might have expected from the Glorio set of Dragon Balls on Planet Cereal. That was absolutely insane. And there are just so many questions that it just beggars belief. But the one thing that this series has is that it immediately got to the point of wishing everyone back to their adult form, meaning that that situation is gone. And sure enough, they did get a power boost. But what I did like was that when they did get that wish on the Ultimate Purunga, they didn't get restored back to full health because, I don't know, maybe that just wasn't part of the wish, or Glorio didn't think about it. Therefore, Piccolo does say, oh, we may be back to adults, but we're still damaged, so, there's only so much we can do. So they weren't powered up to full strength. So that was a crux going against the Dragon team, which did make their lot a little bit harder. Had they regained their full power, then probably it might have been enough to be able to try and do something. But what has become clear is that even though Goku is coming in with Super Saiyan 4 and is promising to finish the job on his own and take in from Vegeta, because again, he's run out of juice because Super Saiyan 3 has turned out to be a dud, which does make me think we will never see it again, at least in the main timeline, because, well, this is the incident which makes him think, oh, it's not worth trying anymore. And then he just goes to Super Saiyan 2, which is what we see in the Battle of Gods arc. So that part still makes sense canonically speaking. We are still going to get a situation where everybody has to play their part and do something. And I'm feeling like that will happen. Even Arinsu is doing something. And she has used her intelligence and resources, as well as Ku's own intelligence and quick wit and speed, to be able to come up with a solution, albeit slightly straightforward, is perfectly okay, because this is the world of Toriyama, where you don't need to be super elaborate. You can make it look super duper fancy and elaborate, but ultimately, the solution is dead simple. Just hit him really hard 3 times in a certain area and you're good to go. Much like with pretty much any other sort of super villain weakness. And it may seem like I am rambling and being absolutely all over the place and scatterbrained, but I've literally just seen this episode, which is why you're getting the review tonight and not my usual early morning slot, because I have the means to do so, and also because this is a very important episode to confirm to you all. Dragon Ball is coming back. It's returning. The manga is back. I will get to that review in due course whenever I can. And I think it's going to be a good year for Dragon Ball. And maybe we might get some more information from Akio Yoku, the new showrunner of Dragon Ball, in the not too distant future because of all of the stuff that we're seeing in Daima. And I just still like the fact that Glorio has had his redemption arc, and he did it in a way which was incredibly constructive. Instead of just going, oh, I've seen the error of my ways. I'm not going to do anything about it, but I just thought I'd say it. No, he actually did something. He made that wish, he gave us that moment of jeopardy, and it's helped out the team, albeit in a little bit of an abstract way and not immediate in terms of its effective results. But he did it, and it made you think that, this is yet another example of Goku just being there and thinking the best out of a certain character is a means to redeem a guy who might be morally questionable or a little bit evil. That Goku saw the good in him all along, and even though he was a little bit shifty and the likes of Shin didn't really trust him, and he was right not to trust him, that Goku was just like, well, I know you're good. I know you got your reasons. But anyway, come join our side, will ya? That's pretty much it, basically. And Glorio was like, oh, damn that Saiyan. And it actually meant a lot. He was like, hey, you got my name right for the first time ever. All right, Gloro. It's Glorio. Oh, Gorilla. You just did that one on purpose. Everything about this episode screamed to me absolute joy. Sure, it wasn't quite as shocking as we got at episode 18 because, well, none of us saw Super Saiyan 4 Goku coming. Now we've had that teased to us in the previous episode, we knew that there was going to be something coming along, and even though we are seeing Super Saiyan 4 again, and it does raise the question about, well, can Goku use this at will now since he can transform into it? Kind of like how he was able to get back into Super Saiyan God, or at least have a buff up of Super Saiyan after having Super Saiyan God in the Battle of Gods movie? Well, it remains to be seen, but I really do hope that Neva comes up with a solution that basically says, well, I hope you enjoyed that because you don't get to use that again unless you're in the demon realm. There's something about the atmosphere that works with your ki that makes it workable. Because he'll then go, hey, old guy, I can't do it at home. What's up with that? There are still many unanswered questions because we still don't know about the fusion bugs because we didn't get them in this episode. And it's making me think, well, which pair is going to be receiving the fusion bugs as well as the other ones? Is it going to be getting Gogeta, a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Magic Edition? Or will we get the Dooku brothers combining ultimate power and ultimate smarts to be able to come up with a way of getting fast and rapid enough with their stretchy arms to be able to hit Goma back in the head 3 times? That's something that would be really cool to see. And then the Tamagamis. We still haven't seen Tamagami number 2 get into the fight, save for him feeling the effects of Super Saiyan 4's transformation. And then there's Tamagami number 3. Was he practicing that ki attack, the Kamehameha, just a little bit of a cute gimmick before signing off of him? Or is he going to be coming back and having learnt that ki projectile attack? Who knows? And we haven't seen those Dragon Balls go back to the Tamagami because we did get a shot of Tamagami number 1 still without the Dragon Ball. So do they know where the Dragon Ball is and they have to go and collect it afterwards? We don't know about that, but it doesn't really matter at this point. But the thing about this is that the third eye is a really fascinating trinket, and Goma is really reaping the rewards of it, but it is going to show that even though he is incredibly strong with it, that physically speaking, he is still a bit of a weakling because he was technically defeated by Vegeta nearly a dozen times in this episode, but only survived because the third eye basically went, no, you're not damaged, you're fine now, go do it again. And stamina didn't really matter to him. And I did find it really cute that the final episode is called Maximum, considering we have Broly. And what is his power, everyone? Maximum. The power might be maximum, who knows? But the thing about this episode is that it just made me smile throughout the entire situation, including going all the way down to getting Vegeta to stop getting his head out of his bum and let the others take part and do their thing. With Bulma just shouting, hey, if you don't do this, you don't get to share a bath with me ever again, which does show that Vegeta, he does love his woman. And there is that little bit of a cute moment, and then he tries to play it off and be cool, so, I'm done anyway, I don't want to fight anymore, you can all take it.
That's gross, you share a bath.
Yeah, sure. You go fight now.
Okay.
And I just feel the charm emanating from this, but we're still getting the crisp animation, the visuals, and some of these models of Vegeta, Goku, Piccolo, some of these shots look like they came straight out of the 90s, like we saw in episode 1. Just so crisp. And even though the digital side of things means that shading sometimes can be a little bit too sharp for some people's tastes, it was just absolutely bonkers. And the rumors are saying that for the final episode, one of the legendary animators who worked on the penultimate episode of Super, the one with Ultra Instinct Goku and Jiren, is coming back to oversee this episode. So that's going to be absolutely insane. The animation is going to be even better. If Daima can stick the landing, then I gotta tell you, this series will probably get a boost in appreciation. And even though it does start off slow, this is basically Toriyama's vision of Dragon Ball GT. And in fact, some of the visuals of Goku close up with his eyes really match some key visuals of GT, which might have been an influence of Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru, who was one of the key designers alongside the crew of GT, when Toriyama was really playing minimal effort in that series, save for a couple of original shots and Pan's character design. There is so much going for this episode, which just makes you think, wow, this is a real passion project, and I can see the love poured into it. to give the fans what they want. Something that is a little treat that we don't have to use all of the time. This might be the only time you see it, but at least you know that in the main timeline, they exist. And even though Super Saiyan 4 Magic Edition is different to the one in GT, I think it's been made clear through multiple publications that GT is its own separate timeline that we sort of see being displayed in Xenoverse. So we know that Super Saiyan 4 is possible to be unlocked in different ways. Whether or not it's permanently accessible by Goku has not been fully confirmed. I would like to think that magic is something that would tip Goku over the edge, because this series is all about adaptation, adapting to their current environments, adapting to their smaller bodies, and being able to try and do what they do. And that when they go back to their regular world, they go back to Earth, the things they were possibly able to do in the magical realm and the demon realm, they can't do in the mortal realm. That there are things that are limited. And the overall arc, the fighting was fantastic. There were just some small little story beats that I felt were a little bit sad that they weren't explored, but it didn't really detract from the overall episodes. These things, they would have been nice to have had, such as Glorio maybe having some more consequences thrown at him for betraying Arinsu, or making Arinsu out to be incredibly cruel. But at the very least, she did contribute to the story and provide some sort of magical assistance in terms of finding out the weakness of Goma, instead of people just constantly hitting each other really hard and then ultimately finding the solution purely by chance or something like that. There was a solution, she did her part, she actually showed a little bit of humility, even though she didn't really want to do it, because she did the classic thing of, don't get the wrong idea, I'm not helping you, I just think Goma's not going to help me, and I want the third eye, and I'll be better with it, honest. No, she won't be. And I just feel like somebody's got to lose their life, because as we touched in our discussion video, if you lose your life in a demon realm, you may not be able to be wished back by the Dragon Balls. Maybe that's the ultimate crux of the Demon World Dragon Balls, that they can grant incredible power, but they can't do resurrection as long as they're demons. And since everyone in the demon realm is a demon because of the pointy ears, then no can do. You don't get to go back up to life. You live for 1,000 years and that's your lot. You don't get anything back. You can't get immortality, or you can't be wished back and revived any times at all. Once you croak, you croak. Those kind of limitations would be really cool. But I don't mind more and more why Porunga is the dragon here, because as we touched upon in our discussion video a few days ago, Neva is one of the ancient Namekians, and surely the Namekians that went and found planet Namek would emulate the original Porunga in their own special way, albeit less red and more green. That's the only difference here. And it just makes you wonder, what will Goma do in the next episode, and how will he actually succumb? Will he actually be taken out by having his head bashed 3 times and the third eye comes out and they destroy it, or banish it somewhere that no one else can get it? Or is it going to be a case of like he keeps getting reset every single time, and then the third eye gets to the point where it cannot sustain the body anymore and then he explodes? That could easily be the case, because maximum can mean a lot of things. Maximum power of Goku, the maximum tolerance for the third eye, it's all open-ended. But one thing I can definitely say is that Daima is doing everything it possibly can to convince everybody it is worth your attention. And all of the people that were dogging on this episode, we are getting so much fan service here that people know well about and love from the GT days and appreciate. One of the few things that people appreciate about GT. This is something that Toriyama poured his heart and soul into. This was crafted over 3-4 years. This took a lot of time. So just sit down and take it all in. These last 2 episodes, and probably the next one, are going to be absolute peak Dragon Ball. Just swallow that bitter pill and enjoy. Seriously, please enjoy it. Just switch off your brain, forget about Moro, and enjoy. And by the way, for those of you thinking that I'm being really immature about this, Haverock and I, we've been really championing this series for the longest time, and we are usually quite diplomatic about things. But if we just want to mildly crash out about this series, we will, because we have good reason to. And I really hope you can sit down and watch this series and really understand what Toriyama was trying to do here. Because if this sticks the landing, this will be one of the best series that we've seen of Dragon Ball in nigh on 3 decades.